Yeah, no more, no more. I won't be set back no more. I move the fast pace, don't slow it. I lost my way for the last time. Yeah, but no more, no more. Look, I won't be set back no more.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Coasters at, and today I'm here with another countdown. This is the top 10 coasters in Ocean City, Maryland. So this was actually a request for somebody, one of my friends who's going down to Ocean City soon. He didn't know there were so many coasters there, so this is a special one that I'm doing for her. So if you may not find this one quite as interesting, but it was a request, so I wanted to be able to fulfill that. So Ocean City is home to 10 coasters, most of which aren't super impressive rides, but it is kind of the parks that I'm closest to. And these will be coming from Trimpers Rides, Jolly Roger at 30th Street, Jolly Roger at the Pier, and Baja Amusements. So let's get started with this countdown. At number 10 we have the Super Jet, the kiddie coaster at Trimpers Rides. And the thing about this is it's a really tiny kiddie coaster and adults can't ride it, so it's the only credit on this list that I do not have. I'm gonna try to get on this at some point. I may just try and go up to the ride op and see if they'll let me ride. But yeah, I just haven't ridden it, and it's a really tiny kiddie coaster, so that's why it's coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Sea Serpent, the kiddie coaster at Jolly Roger at 30th Street. So this is another kiddie coaster, but it's got a bit of a larger layout, it's a little longer, and you might even get a tiny bit of airtime in the back row if on some of those hills. So it's a decent little kiddie coaster, pretty smooth for the most part. Not a bad ride at all, but it's just meant for the kids, so that's why it's coming in here. And now at number 8, so Ocean City is home to a lot of wacky worm coasters. So they all have the same kind of layout. They're just minor differences that really distinguish the three from one another. But this one is the one at Jolly Roger 30th Street. I found it to be the weakest of the three. It just kind of was a little bit rougher. It goes around just twice. And it just wasn't quite as good as some of the other ones, but it's a wacky worm. I'm nitpicking at little quirks about these wacky worms, but there's going to be more of these, so just mentally prepare. Number 7 is the wacky worm at Trimpers. So yeah, another wacky worm right here. This one's a little bit better of a ride. I think it's just a little bit more fun. It's a little smoother, and it goes around 3 times, but there's really not much to say. It's basically the exact same ride as the last one. Number 6 is the final wacky worm that will be on this list. It is the wacky worm at Baja Amusements, the only coaster there. And this one's the best one. It's just the smoothest. You even get a little bit of airtime if you're in the back seat going down the drop. And it's just a fun ride. They all kind of have the equal amount of theming, and they're all the same ride, but I just enjoyed this one the most. It's a little cheaper, and it's just a better ride overall, smoother, and it goes around more times. Alright, we're finally out of the wacky worms here, and at number 5 we have the spinning coaster at Trimpers Rides. This is your typical SBF Visa spinning coaster. It's one of many, and it's perfect for this kind of size of park. It's not very tall or very fast, but it's more exciting than your typical coaster about this size. It's an enjoyable ride. It goes around a bunch of times, and it's relatively smooth, so I like it. It's a decent ride, but nothing really that special. At number 4, we have the most recently added coaster in Ocean City. This is Barracuda, the Zero Flitzer model at Jolly Roger at 30th Street. So this was the most recent credit that I have gotten. It was relocated from Jenkinson's Boardwalk. And it's a fun ride. It's pretty smooth. It's pretty enjoyable. It's not crazy intense or anything. It doesn't really have a big drop, but it's definitely a fun ride. It's a good fit for the park because it doesn't take up too much space. And it's definitely a good addition. I'm glad that the parks are really trying to keep adding new rides. So it's exciting to find a new credit there, and it's a good solid ride overall, but nothing super special. All right, now we have entered the top 3. Number 3 is Wildcat at Jolly Roger at 30th Street. This is one of the Schwarzkopf Wildcat models, and it's a solid ride. It's pretty smooth. The drop is really fun, and it's got a decent layout overall. It's nice and compact. It doesn't have any big major elements, but it is a fun ride overall. I'd say the best part is definitely the drop, but even though it's not a super exciting or intense ride, it's still a fun ride, and it's a great family coaster. This was actually my first coaster when I started to become an enthusiast, and I started to work my way back into riding roller coasters. So yeah, definitely a great family ride, and one that pretty much everyone will be able to enjoy. At number 2, we have Looping Star, the Pinfari Cyclone at Jolly Roger at the Pier. This is the only coaster Jolly Roger at the Pier, and it's a fun one, definitely. Even though it's a Pinfari, it's actually a pretty fun ride. I found it to be relatively smooth, not to be too jerky, and not to be too painful. There is a little bit of shakiness to this ride, but it's not really unbearable or anything. The restraints are a bit weird, but it's fine. The loop is really fun. The drop's pretty cool. Definitely the best part of it is that loop. And this is also a really good first looping coaster. This is my sister's first looping coaster, and I rode it with a friend who doesn't like inverting coasters, and he actually liked this one, so it was good to kind of get back into inversion coasters for him. So definitely a good ride if you don't like inversions but you want to get yourself set up with one, or you want to try out your first looping coaster. Definitely hit this one up. It's a fun ride. And at number 1, we have Tidal Wave, the Vekoma Boomerang at Trimper's Rides. This one is also known as the White Roller Coaster. A lot of people come and see it. It's the main coaster you see when you come to Ocean City, and it's definitely a fun ride. Though I haven't ridden it in a couple of years, it may have gotten a little rougher since then. It is still a fun coaster and definitely a good experience. There's not a lot to say about it because it's a boomerang, but what you're going to get is you're going to get that backwards ascension up the lift hill, then go down the drop into the Cobra Roll and the loop. Those are pretty fun elements. And then you come down the spike backwards and do the whole thing again. These are definitely forceful experiences and solid rides overall. And just the sheer size of this coaster and how they were able to pack it in to this park surprises me. But I think it's a cool ride and definitely one to check out if you're in Ocean City. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting to see all the coasters in Ocean City. And hope you subscribe, comment, like the video, and comment your top 10 coasters in Ocean City. Thanks for watching. Peace, peoples.
Yeah, heavy with a spitter, yeah, we blast. Got a Kevin in my number, hit the gas. When the back pass, heavy with the wrist. Splash, thought he had me, but he didn't.